What's going on, guys? No Can Smelling Salts and Counterculture have teamed up. This stuff is a pick-me-up. When it's late at night and there's not an Ultima in sight, you hit this. You're piled up the C4s on your passenger side. The roller dogs are burning over there. You don't need that. You need the No Can Smelling Salts. When you're getting ready to go to the gym after a long night shift, you hit this in the morning and you feel better. Guaranteed results. Use code CC10 for 10% off for Counterculture. This is what you need. No Can Smelling Salts.
We're going to eat ice cream.
We're going deep.
It's raw. That's what
It's raw.
Look, it's raw.
What do you guys want to talk about?
We good?
Yeah.
Okay. He keeps coming in. We good? It's like Brenin, lean back.
You got to stay back.
It's good.
About that.
We're raw.
But
Yeah, we're hitting it raw.
if you lean forward, you block me.
That's a good podcast name, Raw Dog.
Raw dog?
The Raw
There
Dog
you go.
podcast. I'm sure it's already one. I think he's trying to not. He already knows. I don't want to be looking like a fucking slob in there because that chair
looks
sucks
slobby.
you in.
Yeah, I
You
know.
look slobby. It's the worst chair known to me. You like sink in.
I know. I'm just gonna
Move the chair back.
No, I'm just gonna put my.
That's how I
He's
sit.
doing anything he can to not just sit in the chair.
I'm telling you. See? It's
right, good.
bad.
Put that on a fucking riser.
There's a booster.
Hey, I got caught in fucking Texas with my whole fucking neck sticking
There's
out.
what? The
I was in
Logan's
Texas,
booster
my whole
seats in the
neck
truck.
He's scarred
A
because
whole episode of my fucking neck just sticking out.
What
Like,
happened?
they're like, "Who's that fat dude fucking sitting on the couch over there?" I'm
Are
like,
we live?
yeah,
we're
we're not live. but we're recording.
Somebody said what?
Yeah, I
They're
know.
like, why is it?
Well, I think I got a fucking fat neck.
No, they said, why is he purple?
Why is he what?
A what?
Purple?
Grimace.
A fat neck is better than no neck.
Because the lighting, you
Yeah,
looked
yeah.
He's also red. He's got a weird hue to him.
I called that bitch with all the bracelets and the
You
comments
guys got
I
it.
sent
You
you. I
guys-
called her Grimace yesterday. She blocked
gotta
me.
be like a
She blocked me after I called her Grimace.
Yeah, it's got to be one or the other. It can't be in the middle of y'all. So, all
It's
right.
fine.
Oh,
Just
man.
gonna-
Anyways, Brennan, it's nice to see you, bro.
It's nice to see you too. It's
Sorry,
always
Brennan.
good to be surrounding, good people. You don't see that often
No.
anymore.
Some of the
You're-
people here are
You're
good.
here now, which means
I
I'm
think he's
gonna.
referring to
I'm
us.
trying
I
to
am.
convince you to be the host of a counterculture fight. Shut up! I'm gonna turn your channel.
Okay,
off.
okay. We're like children in class.
I know.
Yeah, let's
I'll
go.
tell you what. You guys just want to pretend that you're on the mic?
No, we're good.
Okay.
That was even better. That was even better. go put a fucking fake phone in a fucking chair in the corner. Go ahead, you guys are live.
I think I'm gonna go live
Like
on
your kid
Instagram.
when you unplug the fucking Xbox controller.
Talking.
Yeah, they're playing. It's not plugged in. Oh my god.
I want you. I'm gonna keep hounding you until you
Yeah,
host
you need
a
you need to do
counterculture
a weekly show.
fight,
Let's do
combat sports.
Yeah,
Let's do it.
We'll
100%. I'm in.
yeah.
It can be live. It can be
heard
pre-recorded.
it
Whatever you
here.
want.
Right now, I have all the time in the world.
Me
so
too.
Until 2 months from now. But yeah, I'm in.
Next month.
I'm only like 25 minutes away from you guys.
I heard that.
You say it.
No, I'm in
Kiss.
around. Yeah, around Orlando. Yeah, but yeah.
Yeah.
He
I'm
doesn't
by-
want you to
Central
say where he is.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, it's 'cause it's a big city. They're not okay, but okay, never mind. I'll edit it out.
Yeah,
In the Orlando area,
that's it.
Somewhere in Florida.
By celebration.
but he's close now physically. So,
The lower 48.
Yeah.
what would you? What would
Very
be?
easy
What,
to find.
what would be a cool? I always thought the Fight Club would be a cool.
It's taken.
The
Can't
Fight
talk-
Club.
You can't talk about it.
You fucking gay.
That was
fucking
super
fag.
dad joke.
I've never even seen the movie.
Oh, the movie's great.
Oh, the
I've never
movie's
even
great.
seen it,
You
so-
can't. I watched it too young, and so it's like watching The Matrix too young. You're not going to get it, but
No,
you
you're
go
not
back and
gonna
watch it as an adult. You're like, I get it. But so are you going with the narrative that you're done with law enforcement full time, and that you're focusing on
here's the
training?
deal. Yeah, I started in 2008 as a correctional officer, and then I work all my way through. So I resigned from my last agency, and now I'm transitioned to a city PD, and I'm just gonna work 20 hours. So I want to continue to do my training.
Yeah.
I want to continue to do what I love. Like going out, training,
Yeah.
meeting people, but I don't want to spend full time.
It's hard.
Because I used to spend like 8 hours a day, 10 hours a day working. I was losing money.
Yeah.
I had no I could not manage my business, so I had to pay other people to do it. And when you do it yourself, it's way better than paying people to do this stuff for you. Like adding videos, all this stuff. Because we know what we're looking for.
Heather told me, like, there's when we were trying to figure out like work. She's like, that's a small business. You're doing all that unsexy stuff.
It's terrible.
All the paper behind. You go into a seminar and filming and having all these people. That's what 10% of it of running a business. The rest on the back end is money, scheduling, logistics. Like, it's a fucking nightmare.
Taxes.
And as a small business owner, you have to do that. Like,
And plus, you constantly need to be talking to people.
That's
too.
the
Answer
difference.
emails,
The
like
difference.
answer phones.
So
You know what I mean?
You work a small business like a restaurant or a lawn business. You just go cut grass. These social media type interpersonal jobs require a lot of contact with messages, people asking questions about the seminars,
staying up on it.
Can I bring my buddy? My buddy wants to come. Can you sponsor?
Can
me
you
for
donate?
That? Yes. So there's a lot of interaction.
She attacked 9/11 vets.
Can you hook me up?
I can't stop.
That was last episode.
Stayed to one episode. Now it's in both. Yeah.
But just like here,
They're
like I get a lot
capitalizing
of
off
messages
of it.
like, you should interview this guy, you should interview that guy, you
Right.
should talk to this guy, and they don't. I don't know if they just think like you're just sitting around. I was just sitting around my phone in my hand, but there's a lot going on.
What do you think? I'm just at home
But
doing
think
nothing?
about that.
Yeah, but he's
I know.
eating dinner with his family at 8:00, and there's 20 text messages, 5 phone calls. There's like a reel out there that says, "I quit my 9 to 5 to start a small business and work for myself, and now I work 24/7."
Well, here's what's funny.
Exactly.
I used up all my excuses for being on my phone when I really didn't need to be on it. When I was just fucking off on Instagram. Now it really is a job, and like my wife says, is like you can't use that excuse already because you were not doing it for the right reason, and it became such a habit. But now it really is where sometimes I'm like, I've been doing it at the gym. I've been putting my phone over in the thing and just be like, I don't even want to look at it I need an hour just to
Right. No, you have to.
Then you get back to it and it's fucking 30 messages and fucking missed call and you're like,
That's what I do when I go to the gym. I just leave the phone inside
I
the car
envy
now.
you. I wish I could do that. I wish I could put it away, which I could. I could do it. I don't.
No,
I
he
choose-
did
yeah.
it once. He did it once, and it was me asking him to do it, and it backfired because somebody made a decision without him that was not a good decision.
Oh, you're
And he's
you're backing me up?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm backing him up. And he was like, "Are you fucking kidding me? See what happened? There was like a shitstorm that he had to fix because he didn't respond."
What was it? I remember it. I just can't remember.
I
what it was.
can't. I don't.
Oh, was it?
I don't. I plead the fifth.
Okay.
I don't recall.
rhymes with-
Tyler taught me to say I
rhymes
don't
with sat
recall.
on my lap.
If I'm being questioned, I don't know. I don't recall.
Yeah.
No,
So-
it is. It's stressful. I mean, there's always something going
But
on.
you
know,
can't-
There's
And
always
at-
something
at
going
work,
on. You
there's-
have to be always with your phone on. I have 2 phones, by the way.
I have 4.
He got 4. I have 2. But my phone's always on. I talk to people like when I get up, I try to not answer all the messages right away.
Yeah,
I
start
try to
your day off
at least eat
stressed out.
breakfast and
Yeah.
do something, you know what I mean? And I don't know.
Who'd I piss off?
Read my
Who's
devotion
cussing
or
me out?
whatever. And then I grab my phone and start to, go through all the messages. And when I get up, there's like personal and, between my business, I have maybe like 50 messages every single morning. I've been busy, man. I've been teaching seminars like 3 times per month, like 3 places.
Have your seminars started going more?
Yeah, I mean, I've been getting calls like every day, and
How does one? If I was a cop and I was watching this right now, how would I get BJJ COPS to come where I am? What's the process?
Okay, the process is you can first thing you go to my website and see what we do.
Nope, I'm gonna DM on Instagram.
Yeah, I mean,
Please go through the process.
Yeah, no, if you DM through Instagram, I just send you the link. I ask few questions and I send them a proposal. They usually, get back to me with 2 weeks or so.
Okay.
And I've been getting a lot of business lately. I just have a lot of seminars pending that I'm just waiting for a few things to go, money.
Yeah.
So I can, start posting seminars again. But I've been busy. I've been this month. I think I taught like three classes so far, and I have one more in Michigan.
Yeah.
That Mike hooked me up. And the thing is, like, you help me, I'll help you.
Yeah. No, that's
Like,
true.
I talked when we met. I'm like, hey, bro, like, you wanna? I know you guys
form an alliance.
yeah, you guys
Really
are
what
start.
it is.
I mean, you just
It is.
start your podcast. You know what I mean? I know you need donations, so let's do this. So let's sell this thing, and then, I'll give you half, and that's what I did. So we make some money. I'll give you
That
half.
pissed off the entire world.
Who gives a fuck? Now,
One's
yeah.
gone. Unconvincing undercover is gone.
Yeah.
I don't even
Your
know
friend.
who he is. Yeah.
Oh, he
My
was.
friend is Jesus Christ. This is not-
Yes.
yeah, my friend is Jesus.
It's funny how all the same people end up with the same enemy, though.
Yeah.
Like, it's then I look and go, because sometimes I think, am I the fucking problem? But then when it's like, you're the nicest guy in the world. Like, I'm an
Right.
asshole. So, like, for you, it's like, if he doesn't like this guy, like, that's when I start to go, maybe it's not me. Like, if you don't like Brenin, how the fuck are you walking around?
That's what I'm saying.
Hey, you know, I taught a seminar last week. They have 50 cops in the entire department. I would say 98% they all trained. They all professional fighters, like pro fighters, like killers. You know what I mean? So I was teaching a class, and then Jimmy Rivera, he said, "Bro, your stuff is legit. If they don't like your stuff, it's because they have a problem with you.
Yeah.
But everything that I see here so far, I mean, it's legit. And Jim is a professional fighter, you know. And I was there twice already at his department. So a lot of people, I understand. Sometimes I don't even like myself. You know what I mean? But hey,
That's good.
just a message. I mean, if you don't like it, just go fuck yourself. I don't care.
I just, I try to gauge it.
Nobody's
on,
gonna please everybody.
Well, I look at it like I talk to a lot of people, but you've since the day we met, like a great
Yeah.
guy. You're very easy to approach. For me to have that class set up, it took nothing. I made one call to you. You
Right.
said this are the dates. Called the guy back, and you immediately were like, I'd love to help those guys out. I'll do it. Like, not a lot of people will do that. The way
And it's pretty costly.
Look, if you help
It is,
Mike,
guys.
if you help my business, I'm gonna help you.
I know, and
I
but
helped
I'm
you
saying
right away.
You also
Yeah.
are very open to you want to help people. That's the difference. Where I never feel businessy around you.
Right.
It's
Like,
not
you're-
just money driven.
Yeah, you're not
Right.
doing it because
Actually
you want to make
have
money.
No, the-
interest in making everyone
You have
better.
to make money.
You know what? You know what? You do things right, the money will come.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You do things right, the
Yep.
money will come. Look, every time that I teach classes, I'm surrounded by MMA fighters and black belts who've been cops for years and years and years. Like the seminar that we did together, Tyler, in Orlando, we had maybe 70 people in the room. You know, we had maybe 12 black belts who've been a police officer for years and years and years. And everyone was happy. Everyone was laughing. Everybody had
It was a good
fun.
time.
And everybody learned good techniques. You know what I mean? So,
And it's like, well, I don't want to speak on behalf of his business, but just filling anybody in the day, it's Brazilian jiu-jitsu based, but it's tailored for law enforcement. Obviously, if a guy's resisting, I can't get on the ground and go, all right, go. It's based off of a lot of his. Like the one I remember was the classic walk. Like, I'm walking you, and he goes like this, and then that's what and it's all tailored for police officers. So it's really cool.
yeah, it took a while to develop a curriculum. I didn't do it by myself, so I did with a bunch of help from police officers who've been black belts and SWAT. You know what I mean? They all cops, and these guys from Brazil, they all work here and live here in the U.S., so they helped me a lot. You know, with the curriculum, and that's it. So I took everything that doesn't work out. I mean, you was there, so everything that we do is contact to handcuffing. That's it. Okay, that's what cops need nowadays. Because just like the incident yesterday from from South,
Yeah.
from the South.
Yeah,
Miami.
our favorite agency.
So I messaged because I know. Look, probably you guys don't know this, but I have 7 officers in my family. You know, one's a chief. So I had family members that work for the agency. I know the instructors. I call them. I message them. I'm like, hey, listen, I'm about to post this video, but it's nothing negative. I'm gonna give you guys a shout out. And I asked them about the 2 female officers. They say, yeah, they never trained. So, and you're not doing anything wrong by post them. So
think
they
the
need to
other-
wake up.
The other part of it is like we discussed.
They asked.
So shocked.
Yeah.
They're not wearing fucking vests, man.
Oh really?
I don't get
Yeah. Oh
it,
yeah.
man.
They want the hoodie.
Yeah, she's got a fucking hoodie on, man. And
Oh, she's so confused.
it's the compound too. It's like you don't know how to fight,
Yeah.
and you're not even wearing a bulletproof vest.
Right.
Like, what does that say
And
about you?
I mean, like, and I will say, I'll be the one to say it. If you're not going to train, okay, you better be ready to fucking just bar brawl.
Yeah.
And a woman's not built for that. We're going to be throwing each other into the fucking citruses and fucking fist fighting, or you can train. and it can go down a lot smoother.
And yesterday's incident, we talked about it, is that guy was not fighting. That guy was just passively trying to get away.
Yeah.
That's different.
The fight is when you see the, and they're all
Yeah,
out
he's
there.
not throwing punches or
when
anything like that.
when
He
they
was
end
just
up
trying to
mounted
move,
with their head getting pounded into the pavement. But if he wanted to.
Oh, yeah. That would be an easy job for him.
That is more the alarming part of it is 90% of interactions with subjects is just them trying to get away. It's not an active or aggressive resistance where they're trying to hurt you in order to get away. And even still, when it's just trying to get away, almost all of them are failures because of the lack of training. And if you're not going to because you feel like whatever kind of way you do about your God-given talents of being able to fight or control somebody, because my argument is, I ask cops, how many of you know how to fight? And then they'll look around because they know it's a trick question, but like some of them will go, yeah, I know how to fight. And I go, great. How do you know how to fight? What is your measure? And I always get, I've been in some fights.
No,
great. So you're letting the fact that you happen to survive a fight or you didn't go home on a feeding tube tell you that you actually know how to fight. Because I can mash on a keyboard and possibly write a word. That doesn't mean that I actually know how to type. Or I point my gun at a target, I press the trigger, and maybe I hit the center of it. Does that mean I know how to shoot? No, it just means you happen to hit the center of the target.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a difference between knowing how to.
Right.
We were born knowing how to do three things: cry, sleep, and shit.
That's it.
Right. That's it. So anything else is not like you weren't. It's not innate. It's not
She's coming
inherent.
with the wisdom today.
Yeah, that's it. She
Yeah.
she
So
read the book.
She knows this one. She's got this one ready.
Yeah,
So,
I know.
but it goes back to the conversation about females, because you said if you have the size and you can use that, because that is you can compensate for a lack
Like,
of skill
just
with
laying on
size and
somebody.
strength.
Yeah,
Right.
laying
There's
on 'em.
right. That's it's a thing. Right. But laying on and coming from like jiu-jitsu and grappling, even there's a way to apply pressure, because a lot of people think I'll just lay on somebody. That's easy to take someone off of you that's just simply laying on you. But someone who understands hip pressure and who actually understands how to distribute their weight and get heavier, right? That's actually laying on somebody.
Yeah, go look. My
Conversation.
hey, my instructor is like this size. Is the size of her instructor. They used to be
Correct.
partners.
Yeah.
They train
Tavares,
together.
yeah.
You know, Toko and Tavares, they used to train together all the time. And they small guys. So learning from a smaller person, you know what I mean? I mean, you're learning from a legit guy because they learn jiu-jitsu under pressure. But then again, we keep saying jiu-jitsu. Jiu-jitsu is not for everyone, you know. I don't care. If you don't like jiu-jitsu, just go do something else. Do CrossFit, weightlifting,
Muay Thai,
karate,
some
do
discipline.
whatever.
Yeah.
Do some discipline. And then you have 3 good positions for law enforcement that's going to be legit, that you're going to be able to, handcuff fast or lock the arm or take down. You know what I mean? So you got to understand, you got to have at least 3 to 4 good positions that you're going to use all the time in law enforcement.
Agreed.
You got to have your go-to positions. You know what I mean? When the shit hits the fan. And one other topic here that, I'm sure you guys are going to talk about it. Should women be in law enforcement? Absolutely yes. You know why? Because she's a great cop. Ashley's a good cop. I met too many. I can name like 10 right now that can do a better job than a bunch of dudes that I know. You know what I mean? And I can name another 10 dudes here that, they're worthless.
Yeah,
Can we get those names?
And I said that,
I'll get sued by for defamation.
I agree, and there needs to be a standard. And the problem I think that there is the small amount of women that there are in law enforcement. When they fuck up, it's just that much more. You just notice it more because there's so little of them. It'd be like there's 100 dudes over here doing dumb shit. I'm like, I think I threw 3 or 4. I can't really tell what they're doing, but there's only like 3 people in the corner. One of them doing something stupid stands out more than anybody else. So that is what my thing is. It's just there's less of them, and when there's a failure, it's broader. But it goes both ways, because when there's one that does something great, it might be a normal thing that a guy might do, but in the female world, she did X, Y, Z. Well, maybe she didn't, but it was a really good job.
And like we talked about standards across the board being the same, because females, if they do something that appears like they did something good or they were successful, that measure of success is way lower than the measure of success that are applied to male cops. Because we look at incidences with females and we will literally give them kudos simply for not running away. Like, oh, she did great.
Yeah.
Because she just stayed around. I
But
don't.
if
I don't
you-
understand.
She did crowd control.
She's stuck around. So, because there are people who have told me, "Oh no, that female, she'll get down." I don't really know what that means.
That's like I know how to fight.
Right.
Yeah.
Because getting down, just because you're willing to get down doesn't mean you know what you're doing and that you're an asset. You can get in the way by wanting to get down. That doesn't mean that you're an
Remind me
asset
about get down.
or that
Right.
you're going to be
I was gonna
successful.
say that.
That's a great get down.
There's a difference between
a great
the
video.
warrior mentality. The warrior mentality without the training is as bad as the training without the warrior mentality. You can't have one or the other. So just because I'll get it, yeah, come at me, bro. That tells me nothing. So you can have like a go-getter, balls to the wall. You can be a female that's about that life and still not be about that life when it's time to put the rubber to the road.
I know.
It's
There was
Sometimes all you hear.
There was a video you posted. I think maybe Street Cop Training. Somebody posted. They're on the side of the road, and the female like jumps out and starts screaming at the guy that she's going to kill him. I'll shoot you. I'll scream. And she was getting credit for like doing just that. Her gun was waving all over the place. It was like flagging her
They just
partner.
liked that she was aggressive.
But everybody kept saying, "Well, she did something. She did." That's not. That's
I'm
not a
aggressive
measure.
and I end up in an IA.
That's
I don't
not a
understand.
measure as doing something.
Right.
Like it's not. It's just like the big male cop that has no experience walks up and gets lucky and knocks a guy across the room and knocks him out. Well, great, he did good. No, he got lucky. Like he got lucky. He caught the guy with a
And
lucky
that's not
punch.
skill.
That's
Skill
not
and luck
skill.
are two different
and
things.
That's a lot of men, and I'll be one of them to admit. Earlier in my career,
Yes.
I got lucky a
Yes.
lot of times. I got in a lot of fights. I was a scrawny dude. I had no fighting background, no training. I just got lucky that nobody wanted to kill me.
But
May I have survived?
Plus, you're a
Maybe
big guy
because
too,
I'm-
Mike. You have all.
Back
not
then I
then,
wasn't-
not
no,
then.
back then I wasn't as big
But
back then.
you would assert that because you were successful in those fights, that your process was good. So I talk about being outcome
Yes.
driven versus process driven,
Yes.
and a lot of times we look at a situation and look at everything worked out, and we let that outcome determine whether or not the way that we got there was good, and it's not. It could be a total shit show. And we've seen those on videos too, where it's an absolute circus and
Yeah.
everyone just doing independent contractor shit, their own thing, and it worked out. Bad guy went to jail, or
Yeah, they all high fiving and we
Yeah,
did
yeah.
a great job.
but it was a shit show,
well,
and we were like, but it worked
That's
because
how
of
most
luck.
pursuits end. Most
Because of-
pursuits are like that. Like we chase a
Everyone's
car,
free
almost,
for all.
we almost kill like 93 people
Right.
throughout, and then when the
Yes.
guy crashes, we take him in custody. We're like, man,
That's
that
it.
worked really well. You're
Can't
like,
wait to do
"Dude,
that again."
I went by like 4 3-year-olds at like 90 miles an hour and almost hit them. And you're like, oh, it turned out great. Like,
Yeah.
But if one of them gets hit, then it's the whole fucking
Yeah.
thing's bad. And you're right. It's where I ended up. I got lucky a lot of times. I had nothing, no skill. I'd relied on backup and just being a bigger guy.
Right, just a quick message here, for not only the females, for all the genders, you know what I mean? If you
All the genders, I like
Yeah.
that. There's
Oh,
not two
there's
anymore,
all?
right?
Oh,
There's
yeah.
not
Yeah.
just two.
I draw the line somewhere.
All the gender. He's a businessman.
but look, I feel so free right now, you know what I mean? That back then I was like, hey, I cannot, like, if I say this shit, people might call my job and I get in trouble. So now I don't give a shit.
We still got 20 hours a week.
Yeah.
You still got 20 hours a week to do.
Tyler, there's a lot of female officers that I've met that are like, damn, I mean, solid, like solid
Yeah.
females, especially when they go to California, San Diego. 100% of the class, they already trained jiu-jitsu, you know what I mean? They're just there to see what's new, but they all train. When I go to Massachusetts, most of the cops train in Boston, New Jersey, here in Florida. So the numbers, I think the worst, that we have the least amount of officers that train was in Louisiana, New Orleans.
Yeah, I was stationed
But,
there for 3 years. There was a-
Well, have you seen like spot on Captain?
Yeah, but everywhere
Here's
else.
what else I noticed. Since you were on and since you talked, I've gotten more messages or comments on my story about that video and from females that are in that
Right.
category. What I found was, which is equivalent to you, they don't talk or brag about anything. So the females that are getting all the attention are your prissy, the wrong message females. They have no problem all piping in. But the people like her don't really speak up about much because they're kind of in the background feeling like her.
It did
Like-
take you a
like
while to
those
tap
other
that
girls are-
tap that oil.
They're
but then it was
just
like,
embarrassed.
Yeah.
Well, they're embarrassed like you are of other females, so they just hide and just do their job. They're hard.
Correct.
They
Can you
work hard,
imagine
they
if
train.
all females did what you did? Like you were very, very hesitant. Like no one wants. And then as soon as it was like, oh shit, like
Yeah, it's a positive message.
Yeah.
And now females like you that train, do jujitsu, and shoot, they're all starting to it seems like they're coming out a little bit more. I've noticed a little bit more spike in my followers, or I've gotten.
Right, and
you're not
it's-
gonna like that, but I've gotten more female followers, and like people are starting to say like, I feel the same way, or
Because they want to hear a voice.
they do. They want to hear a voice like that.
Right. I agree.
They're just as embarrassed.
Because before the loudest female voice was the pink handcuffs and the lip gloss and the eyelashes and the 3-inch nails, and that's why you can't manipulate your slide on your gun because your nails are in the way. Like that's a thing, and that was the image. So anything else would be like against the grain, and that usually doesn't get as much acceptance or attention, which is not for attention. But like when you walk into a room, if you walk into a room and you're like, I'm the captain, or if you have to tell people how great you are, everyone knows that you're
Right.
probably not.
Exactly.
Other people should tell you how great you are.
Yeah.
That's your measure of how great you are when other people say it.
I love it when people tell me that they're humble. I'm like, okay, so you're not humble.
Right, 'cause
By
you
telling
had
me
to-
you're humble.
Yes, someone.
It's one of those things. I should be telling people, yeah, that dude's super humble.
Yeah,
Like,
but going back to these girls, they don't make content for law enforcement. They make content for regular guys. You know what I mean? Because we're gonna bash them.
Yeah. yes.
Yeah, you know.
We're talking about the girly girls.
Yeah,
they're making
yeah.
content to get dudes sweating.
To get dudes, to get
It's not
regular
about being
guys
a cop.
liking this stuff.
Yeah,
But
they
we-
know the
we're
women
not gonna
aren't gonna
like
watch it.
anything that they
I'm
do.
telling you, I'm telling you, on a broad scale,
We're not
there
gonna
is
like
no accounts. There's a few girls that lift. There's a few here and there, but there is no
Yeah.
real law enforcement female accounts or podcast or movement amongst hard training female cop. It is untouched. It's like striking oil. There's a whole well out there somewhere full of it. You kind of started to chip away at it, where other girls are going, I feel exactly like her, and I just been over here minding my business because I don't want to be associated with those
Right.
prissy girls that are doing all these dumb dances.
Oh,
I
they'll
just
bully
wanna-
them. They'll
I
just,
just
oh,
want
you're
to be one
ugly.
of the guys. I just want to be one of the guys. I want to do my job. I want to go
Or
here.
you'll get
What do they say? That you just want to be a dude or like one of the
Yeah.
boys.
Yeah, I am trying to be as squared away as a squared away dude next to me. Yep, you're right. You fucking nailed it.
Yes.
I've
That's
been
the whole
following
point.
your wife for I think for over 10 years.
Yeah.
I never see her in front of a mirror, putting her uniform.
Not for a while.
No,
Not
maybe
the
taking it
uniform.
off, but not putting it on.
Yeah, put it on and take it off. I have a long day of work. This is how I am, untuck my belt or whatever.
So, and I'll
what the
be-
fuck? Who wants to see
This
this
is
shit?
how
Yeah.
To be
Yeah.
no, not,
What
not-
the- yeah,
not-
I don't, if you're law enforcement, you don't want to see this shit. So they don't create content for law enforcement. They
It's
create
not.
content for regular.
And you would agree
people,
that it's dangerous because you have females that want to get into law enforcement and they're thinking that's all the job is about.
Yeah.
And then you end up having to shoot somebody or fight somebody and you run away, you get your gun taken
Wow.
because you didn't really think that's what that was about. It's exactly what it's about. It's all it's about.
It
You
just
take the
happened.
theft call and the barking dog call
Yeah.
and the someone stole my Amazon package call. That's all fluff. That's all in the interim. The real test of this job and the real meaning of it is the fight for your life,
Yeah.
the shooting, the
3
active
a.m. on
shooter,
the side of
the
the road
armed
with a
robbery,
guy with a warrant, you
right?
know?
Correct. And that's not being sold by these females
Right.
that are looking cute.
Don't even talk about it happening. It's like
Right.
it does not even exist to them.
Right.
there's municipalities too.
They're
that
all
they-
day-
not a reality.
Look at
crime
the-
is very low.
Yeah.
They're all day shift. If you look right across the board, all the TikTok cops are day shift.
SRO,
Makeup,
community,
SRO, everything's during the day. Everything's cake. This is great. You want to be a cop? This is what I do all day. Starbucks order, like
No vest.
There's no indication that like 3 a.m. domestic violence, drunk 6'5" dude.
Yeah,
You should have a
you're
line,
arresting
going to gas him,
you're
like-
arresting a drunk dude in his own kitchen
Correct.
at 1:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
Like go.
Right.
Good luck.
Good
Right.
fucking luck, dude. I'm scared of that call.
In his
I
own
hate it.
kitchen, yeah.
I
Right.
hate it. I
with
hate it.
with your eyelashes and your nails.
Yeah.
No, that's not
That's
going to
super
fly.
effective.
So I think you've opened up, and I've said this for a while, but I think maybe you're seeing it now. Is that there is a
Jojo.
There is a
No,
Jojo.
and I hate that. See, I don't.
But
I don't.
that's-
ugh,
but
I
that's
don't
fine,
care.
but it-
right.
But the movements that are going on in the conferences of women are the wrong
They're all
message.
like, you are our leader now.
Yeah, it's the wrong.
So here's
the wrong message.
because I did, and I had a lieutenant at the time who came to me and was like, if you don't stop posting the shit you're posting, you're never going to be anything. So I in the beginning of, even though I got into it, I saw a lack of training. I wanted to do canine. That's the reason I got into law enforcement. So I wanted to do like that hard charging shit, but I got lost in the attention though. I ate it up a little bit.
Okay.
So I did do some of that shit, which is why for
I
me, I
never
feel
noticed.
like, right, and which is fine. Good. I'm thankful there's some people that didn't see it.
Yeah.
But I won't be I'm not a hypocrite, and I won't act like I didn't do that, which for me feels like I have a little bit more stake in the argument because I've done it.
Did you and Mike meet when you were content creators?
No,
or?
she didn't do TikToks in
No,
uniform.
I just posted kind of.
She was severely out of her uniform.
Mike, I never met you. I never met you while you're doing TikTok. Never. I think I'm.
No, it was after. It was when I first started dating.
Yeah.
her.
Yeah.
No, I think
It's like-
you had a regular Instagram.
It was
that's all.
2021 when I think
Yeah.
we met. Yeah.
I never saw you like doing
No, I didn't.
dancing.
I got a great picture of me in a wig.
He's dressed up
Mike
as like a
dancing?
girl
You
too.
dance, Mike?
Great.
Dance?
Yeah, I got a wig picture in here, man.
Like
In a wig.
Shirt-
you're being
Shirtless?
funny.
Shirtless.
Yeah, I'm not fucking transvestite.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
You were
You
pretty.
can say that word.
I did the worst one. The fucking guy with the light. He starts with a uniform.
Oh,
and
the
then-
ring light.
Yeah, with the ring
Oh,
light. He
yeah.
starts with a uniform,
Smoking.
and then he's fucking fully naked with
Yeah, I
that
did
thing
that.
on top
Yeah,
of his
I did
head.
that. I did that.
Dude, I mean,
There's a lot of shirtless ones of him like
They're-
trying to dance, but it's very awkward
They're gone.
movements.
Those are gone. Those ones are gone.
Did the women in the comments tell you that they love
was
you?
bad.
of course,
It was
yeah, they do.
Woo! I
They
knew
love it. Yeah, that's
All
why
the,
they
like,
keep doing
40-year-old
it.
they're
Just like the fucking
"Oh
guy with
my
the
God,
mouth.
how's your day?
That Alabama
How was your
trailer
day?"
park was fucking
He
rocking.
disappeared for a little bit. You know which one I'm
Women
talking
in the
about?
comments
Yeah.
are
The white dude is always like, I don't even know how to do the pose that he does.
oh,
Yeah, with the mouth, with the lips.
women are so stupid.
He's still alive.
Men listen to it too. Men love that, like women talking like this into the mic. Ugh, it's creepy.
Oh, the weird like
ASMR. Yeah.
It's so bad. It's so bad.
You see that shit don't fly in the jiu-jitsu community. For instance,
We will beat your ass.
yeah, but look, I remember back then. I remember back then when it started. It was a group of blue belts already. We maybe like 7, and our job was to make the white belt quit. All the white belts quit the gym. If you pass through that phase, so you saw it. It was just like a. You
just gotta show back up.
Tryout. You know what I mean? Yeah, it was crazy back in the day. So today is totally different than back then. But and I like the way that it is today than back then, because back then it used to be savage. You know what I mean?
Well,
We used to fight each other inside the
People
gym.
can't handle that anymore.
Well, we talked when you were on Antihero. Forget which. It was one of the first ones. It was early
Yeah,
days.
early.
You had said that we were talking about the differences in cultures and how, like, gyms used to be like more of a warrior based mentality, and now, you can't. BJJ is so popular now. Gyms popped up everywhere. If you make the Karens fight for their fucking life, or they can hit the door, you're not going to have any business.
Yeah.
No.
You have to make it tailored to.
But this is it's got to be this mentality now, because you got to make jiu-jitsu for everyone. Because I just talked to a doctor the other day, and he was like, "Man, I miss jiu-jitsu. I'm a blue belt. The guy's super young. You know what I mean? He's a doctor." I'm like, "Bro, how old are you? 22?"
Yeah.
And he's a doctor. He's not 22. He's like 35. But he's a doctor. He said, "I miss BJJ, but I don't." The gym that I was going, the guys go too hard. I'm a surgeon. I can mess up my hands. So I understand that. So that's why now gyms, they have executive classes only for, people.
Rich classes.
Yeah, the rich class. So
No contact jiu-jitsu.
yeah. No, actually,
Like, what's that game? Twister?
Mike,
Yeah.
no, Mike, you and I,
How do you
look,
take it
you and
light?
I, we can train for 1 hour.
Yeah.
And you're going to have the feeling that I gave a great workout. You know what I mean? Because when you train with people that they know what they're doing, it's fun, it's different. For instance, when she trains with her instructor, with Renato, he's gonna make fun for her. You know what I mean? But then again, then she goes trains with this purple belt, who's don't like females, and he's gonna smash her face. So
On that, when it comes to gyms, and I think that the onus is so heavy on guys that are running gyms, because Master Tavares is so good at managing that vibe.
Manage the
you
vibe.
You are not allowed to act like that.
No.
You are not allowed to smash anybody, exploit somebody's weaknesses, try to exploit your own strengths at the cost of somebody else's weaknesses. So in managing that, and because there are so many walks of life, there's 70-year-olds that are getting, we have older dudes that are just older and are white belts and who are starting, right? That is
I'm
a
about
different.
to fucking end you, Grandpa.
But there's so many walks of life. There are people who rely on their physicality to go to work the next
Right.
day, and they can't just
Cops.
compromise their cops, right? Absolutely. And
That was one of the. It's not anymore. It's not anymore. But one of the biggest arguments for training is like HR would be like, well, there's going to be so many injuries, and it's like, well, they can get injured out here. Would you rather them get permanently injured or be hospitalized, or would you rather have somebody with a twisted arm?
I'll tell you a true story. I used to work for municipality. I think it was 2012, and I used to go to Pembroke Pines. They had a gym, a nice gym. So we had some guys from the FBI and some guys from Pembroke Pines. We used to train jiu-jitsu there every single Wednesday. And then one sergeant came in. The sergeant was the size of your couch. So
a normal sergeant's house.
Yeah, so he came in and he watched the class. So the next day I got a phone call. Hey, we need to stop. That dude who was watching the class told the chief that you were doing UFC here.
Ugh.
You can ask Kevin. He
As
runs
he ate his bucket of KFC, he fucking drank fucking 32 ounce Coke. You guys are dangerous over here.
Look, we had something very nice going on in Pembroke Pines. That was 2012. So how many years ago? I don't even know.
13.
More. Yeah.
No, not more.
He's talking about. You guys can't do math.
I only can count until 10. That's it. I'm just
10 is 22 and 3
Oh,
is
I thought
25.
you were saying 2013.
No.
And he said 10. 2013?
No, he said 2012.
2012.
I thought you were saying 2013.
can we edit this out?
No, that's important.
Just let it roll.
I got that question right.
It's raw.
So anyhow, the most people that complain. So the last place that I worked, the
ice
chief
cream's
he built
melting,
the
it's
gym for
stressing.
us. Was huge, everything very nice, very clean. Because he used to train with me. But then again, there was only him and like 4 other dudes. You know what I mean? Out of a bunch. So you cannot, and people keep saying, "Oh, jiu-jitsu should be mandatory." No, it's not. I talked to Mike yesterday because if you mandate jiu-jitsu, you know what I mean, you're not gonna be able to hire a lot of people to work for you because jiu-jitsu is not for everybody. But then again, you as a person, you know what I mean, you should be able to take care of yourself.
Yeah.
Yesterday I told Mike, look, if I gave you the job, it's on you to be prepared for the job.
Yeah.
And people say, "Oh, agencies should pay for cops to go train in jiu-jitsu." I'm like, no, because how many times your wife went to the range and used her own ammo?
Yeah.
How many times I spent thousands and thousands and thousands to become a black belt in jiu-jitsu by paying membership fees.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So one thing I learned in this life: if you want something good, you need to pay to have access.
Correct.
Okay, nothing's free. So to live at your house, you have a nice house and you pay a mortgage. Okay, so you're paying. So everything you need to pay. So, but then again, if you cannot manage your money, you have a problem. If you're a police officer and you don't have $150, $200 to pay for a membership gym, something's wrong with you because we have waiters that make $30,000 a year and they pay full price. So what the fuck?
I agree. I think the agency.
You guys offer a law enforcement discount?
all that, but I think that
They do.
the problem with the agencies is they haven't brought the new type of.
To admin.
That was my ice cream.
Sorry.
They should bring your type of class to their normal training. It should be started in the academy. It should start in the academy,
Yes.
and it should continue in service. So that maybe not the agency paying everybody to go to jiu-jitsu. That's something, again, you should do on your own and just like a gym membership. But the curriculum that's taught within the agency should be something successful like what you're doing, not just get back, get down, and all that stuff. It should be
I work for. I'm a specialized instructor for a state college here in Florida. That I only teach the ground control. So, you're right. We need a reform. The curriculum
Yes.
that we teach right now makes no sense.
Doesn't make sense.
For 2025, everything upgrade. Except
Everybody resists because society has allowed in the last 10 or 15 years, they have told society, you can now resist the cops.
yeah.
Now, on top of that, cops are being shunned for doing showing violence, right? So, well, that didn't look good. Why don't you learn BJJ? The takedown would have looked lay cleaner. Admin's like, great. If I'm having to someone's fucking face into the ground because they're not complying and they're fighting me, or you can just use simple control, but it is putting a lot of pressure on the cops. And it's almost got to be like now, like I get this reform thing, but it should be on the fucking. We can't bring people in the doors, but on top of that, we got to add now must be 19, must be a U.S. citizen, must know or be willing to learn Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. That has to be on there because you cannot bring all these people in and then go, you don't want to fight each other 3 times a week.
So you want to solve some of these problems? You want to every agency in the United States should have at least one purple belt as a training coordinator.
Yes.
Okay, first of all. Yes, exactly. As a purple belt or a good wrestler or a good judo background, a wrestling background as a training coordinator. Because right now, it starts from the top, okay? I was going to say something here, but let me shut my mouth. So anyhow, I was going to give a personal experience. So anyhow, now they put this guy here to be a training coordinator who never, he fought on the streets, okay? So he's not we give them credit. He put a lot of people in jail, but he doesn't have any martial arts, no background experience.
To know what's needed.
And and the only certification that he's got is like 40 hours state DT instructor. And this is bad because that's the motherfucker that's gonna teach you the entire department how we're gonna save their lives. You know what I mean? I'm gonna teach her how to save her life. I'm gonna teach you I'm going to teach you bullshit. They just want to check the box.
Exactly. When you have to go to that annual, right from my mouth. When you go to your annual training, it's 4 to 8 hours of rolling around on mats. Everybody knows they don't want to be there. The instructors are saying, we know you don't want to be here. Let's just get this over with, So.
Yeah, and I think both of you have talked about it. We talked about it. The case up in Grand Rapids where the taser gets taken. Yeah. You learned we brought this cool electronic weapon into the game, right? What was our option to combat it if somebody takes it? Kill him.
Yeah. That's what they told you to do.
That's what they told us to do. And then the kid gets a charge of murder. They're not going to retry him. He got a mistrial. But
what was the outcome for that?
Mistrial, and actually they announced today they're not retrying him. So he's good. He's not going to be retried. He's off.
Well, maybe in 10 years again.
But we did it. When you see that, so that agency,
you're never safe.
That agency immediately when that happened, that agency brought. I talked to one of the captains. They immediately brought jiu-jitsu into the agency. Why, as a collective United States of America, didn't all the agencies go, well, we don't want that to happen at our agency either. Nope. Maybe we should all bring jiu-jitsu
We did it for taser.
Exactly.
Yeah,
because
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Axon.
Yeah, Axon.
But for jiu-jitsu, we're not going to do it. So
that's true.
We did that agency goes, we have a problem, let's fix it.
Yeah,
Why in the whole United States, every administrator, these dudes are sitting around with their fucking magazines upside down and their gun backwards. Why don't they look at that shit and go, we don't want our guy shooting some dude in the back of the head with a fucking taser in his hand.
That's a great point, actually, because jiu-jitsu, we say jiu-jitsu, and I will say this. It's a generic term for grappling or
I'd rather have a name for it because what you're teaching, you shouldn't be teaching jiu-jitsu. No, you should be teaching what you're doing, handcuffing,
Exactly. Look, because, there's a lot.
Then we need a fancy name for it. I don't know, because everyone gets in their feelings about, jiu-jitsu.
It's like A1 is steak sauce, but we call it A1 because it's a common name.
Every time they say jiu-jitsu, these motherfuckers think that we're going to go, this is what we're teaching. Hey, pass my guard.
We're just going to go on the street and pull guard immediately upon
saying it. There needs to be a term.
Ground
control.
Defensive tactic, but effective defensive tactics, not the traditional one.
Look, there's a bunch of people now teaching. I wish I had the same class that I teach today in 2008. You know what I mean? When I started.
Life would have been easy.
That's why people need to have, that's why this country, they need people like us. I'm saying people that are going out there and teach classes. There's a bunch of good companies doing it. I don't hate these people. There's enough.
Well, you can't get to anyone.
The pizza's too big. You know what I mean?
You can't get to everyone.
Exactly.
So you need help. You need other people doing it.
Yeah. So there's a bunch of companies now doing it. I think it's great. So we need more podcasts like yours, like Tyler's podcast, like your podcast, because you guys push this shit. You know what I mean? So we need voices. So the more that we talk about it, the more that we do it, so the admin's going to start to see him like, this motherfuckers, let me listen to them at least 1 second. I tell you, look, I went to a state. I taught a class. I'm not going to say names or anything. So I taught a class.
A state.
So 50. Yeah, I went to the city. So
I was in America.
I was in America. It was in America. So I taught this class, right? So check this out. I taught this class, and then the SWAT guys that brought me in, the class was full, and then they had a podium. I saw a bunch of people come in, the brass coming in, with all a bunch of pens. I'm like, what the fuck is this? And then a guy with a suit. So I asked the SWAT leader, I'm like, what the fuck is this people here? They say, oh, they're here to watch your class. They want to see what you're doing. And then so after the class, so this dude, he was like, hey, they want to talk to you. I'm like, fuck, I'm going to jail. They're going to call ICE on me. I'm going back to fucking Brazil, dog. This is a fucking setup. So when I walk into the class, everyone was the mayor, was the county manager, was the county attorney, the chief, everybody. I mean, the sheriff, everyone was there. Say, hey, whatever you just did here today, can you come back next week and teach our corrections officers?
Oh,
yeah. I'm like, wow. I mean, I thought you guys gonna arrest me.
I just so how cool would it be to work for an agency and your top brass was taking off all of their fucking fancy pins and shiny shit, and they were getting on the mats with their guys?
Dude, that's
they do.
Yeah.
And
they
that's
do.
what they do.
I met 4
Georgia.
chiefs already. They're fucking solid as fuck. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Okay.
Well, Marietta PD in Georgia, who's kind of like the
Right.
godfather of incorporating jiu-jitsu into new hire and in-service training. They started back in like 2012, as an agency. Their captain was a purple belt. So when you get someone in an admin that understands it, and that's just a unicorn though, to get someone in that position that values.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I said. So
They're
every
usually just fat
You're a
cocksuckers.
motherfucker.
bro, look, you want to solve this problem? You want to solve this problem? Make every training coordinator, training sergeant, only give them the job for at least have a solid purple belt in jiu-jitsu. You're gonna see changing, because
You're making way too much fucking sense.
yeah,
Way
because
too much sense.
when was the last? So I just got recertified. So I went to a DT class, right? So you see a bunch of people there, and they're like, "Oh, hey, my elbow, just go easy, my elbow." And the other dude, "Oh, my back, my hip." I know we have problems. I look. Yeah. I can barely move my elbow. I got run over by a truck. You guys probably don't know this, right? On my motorcycle, I got by a semi truck.
Okay. Not just like a regular truck.
Semi truck.
Big.
They destroy my motorcycle. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm always in pain. But every time that I talk to Mike, because now we're free.
Yeah.
I FaceTime him. I'm at the gym doing something. I'm always at the gym. I don't stop, man. But the thing is, some of the cops, they don't. I mean, it looks like they're just there for the so they can pay the bills and get by life.
They treat it like it's a Walmart job.
Bro,
or
have a
gas
purpose in your
station
fucking
job.
life.
No.
You know what I mean? Have a purpose. If you just rely on their law enforcement job, you're done. Mike and I, we had a live the other day. This dude, I can't train jiu-jitsu because I work 16, 20 hours a day. I'm like, bro, quit that job.
Yeah.
To your point where you brought
Imagine
up like adding.
this guy working 16 hours, not seeing you.
He does. He does.
Well, part of it's this job.
32 hours a day.
Oh, we just got into. We didn't get into it. I was like, when I come here to this studio,
Right.
it is work. She doesn't see it as work.
It is work.
Say it.
Mike, that's not true.
She says
That's not
because I
true.
had a beer when I was editing.
No, I didn't say it's not
Tell her
work.
to edit her own show.
I said it's
She wants you to hear a lot more. She wants you to hear a lot
She
more.
is a lot
often.
more supportive when I'm doing
yeah,
her show.
yeah.
when he's
Buy you a
editing my
case of fucking
show,
beer.
I'm
Bring
okay
it.
with
She'll
it.
drop you off here.
And look, it's not
Hold
because
on, this was before I had a podcast. Can you reel it back?
Okay.
I said it's not the same as when you're at your other job. It's not the same.
It's definitely not the same.
I didn't say it's not work.
But it's
I said
still
it's not
work.
the same.
But what do you care if they're paying the same amount? Why do you care which one's the same? Why
I
do you
didn't
get
care.
to?
It's because I said when you're out at work, and
I
I didn't
think
call
She
this
has a
work.
podcast now,
Yeah.
so she gets
She
the
gets it,
strenuous.
yeah.
I think
she's talking about the
activity
atmosphere.
at the studio.
It's work.
You know that
Atmosphere.
that
I
hard
said-
work.
she
no,
thinks
it's
about the
'cause-
atmosphere, so you happier here.
I didn't say
Yeah.
it's because I didn't say work. I said, oh,
Yeah.
when
He's
you're at
not
the
miserable.
studio.
Not work.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. you have to
Yeah,
be
pretty
complaining.
much.
Hold on, let me have some water.
That's accurate. That's accurate.
You guys cut her off. She was about to give me kudos for
Go ahead.
something I said.
Yeah. Go back and tell him.
I remember that. My ADHD.
No kudos.
No name profile.
No kudos.
That was right.
Tell him he was right.
So going back to listing it, because I never thought about it that way, and I agree with it because the 19 U.S. citizen. But what have agencies started to also incorporate in their requisites? A degree. So you'll require someone to go get a 4-year degree, but won't require them
In
to train
anything.
in human
In
control.
anything.
To survive, because the degree is going to do what? Allow you to add something to your email signature? How is that going to help you with policing? Is it going to help you make a dope arrest?
I have
Is
a
it going
lot
to
of
help you
friends.
survive the fight of your life? that's invalid.
Right. So I have this
guy.
guy. He's a Marine. Solid dude. You know what I mean? He did some shit. He's solid. He's a brown belt in jiu-jitsu.
He'll get down.
MMA fighter, but he doesn't have a college degree. So he got turned down by a local PD, and I'm like,
That's
bro,
insane.
I have a degree. I can wipe my ass with it. You know, I never use it.
Or just make it every job says must have or be able to obtain. You have to be willing to go.
Right.
Like so, if you're not anything more than a white belt, you're applying fine, but you have to be willing
But
to
we
learn.
will. When it comes to even the money argument and shut the F up, we will send people and spend money and approve training requests for
F
classroom level training.
Yeah, that gets nothing. It checks
It
boxes.
does nothing. You get a certificate because you showed up and put your ass in a seat.
And
We
that's
send
great.
one out. We send one out for training, right? We send one out to training to come back and give us the training that this one received, and then this
didn't.
person came back
They
and showed us a 30-second video.
You know what?
Yes.
I got this. How about this? I think a blue belt is harder to get than a college degree.
Huh?
A blue belt is harder to get than a college
yeah.
degree.
Yeah.
I have a
if
college
somebody
degree,
has a
not a
blue
great
belt,
one,
if they
but-
walk in with a blue belt, they should
Not a great one.
be on the number one on the list to start for any promotion.
It shows
You have to show
dedication,
dedication,
hard work.
skill, fucking miserable long days
It's
and
not
nights,
even a fucking
injuries.
comparison.
Every department should have at least a purple belt as a training coordinator, as a training sergeant.
Really driving that home.
If they start, because I want to push it out. Look,
You know what?
I don't. Look,
I would even be
First
okay.
take, I didn't like the way I said it. Let's say
I
it
would
again.
be okay with a civilian position within the agency.
No, I don't.
I'm okay with it. I'm okay
no,
with it.
I'm okay with it.
Well,
too,
no, but
It's
it,
nothing, but
it's
it's
better
not
than nothing.
ideal.
But cops
It's not
won't
ideal.
respect it as much as now. I got a guy with a badge.
Put him through the
Exactly.
fucking academy.
Because-
Give him the fucking.
No,
Give him the fucking.
no, because it's better than nothing. But I agree because they're just like sport jujitsu for trophies is different than the law enforcement business.
100%.
You're going to have a civilian that's going to be pushing more of the
More of
sport
the-
jujitsu
yeah.
because they don't understand
They don't
how
understand.
it applies to
My
the
problem
dynamic of
is
law
it's not-
enforcement.
here's my honest belief.
It's not the same.
It's harder for. I would rather find the purple belt that's got the mindset to teach, or the blue belt to teach the cops, and then make him a cop, versus finding the cop to make them the purple belt. It's hard. The purple belt's the harder achievement.
Right.
So grab the guy that's a purple belt, bring him into law enforcement.
Oh, because they
teach
do
him
it with
a
with the fucking females. They
No,
do
you
one.
cannot make
They do 3
someone-
months on the road and then they move them to PIO.
You cannot
You know.
make a cop go out there and pay for him. Hey, listen, we're gonna make a purple
Exactly.
belt.
It'll
So
take too
if you
long.
don't
You
have,
find the
but
guy.
what if you have the will? We don't have the
The culture. It's
the
a culture.
Yeah, you don't
bring
have
the
the
purple
life.
cultural
Jiu-jitsu
differences.
is a long-term marriage. You're married to the game.
Bring
you know
the
what I mean?
purple belt in, make him a cop, because anybody can be a fucking.
80%. You just got to pass.
Not
80% on the state
anybody.
exam.
They
You know,
make
and-
anybody a cop, but again, the guy who's got a purple belt is going to be good at what he does.
Because by showing that he
So
has a
do
purple
you
belt.
think now it's easier to become a police officer than back then?
Oh, yeah.
God, yes.
You guys think so?
They
guys?
literally are tearing down obstacle courses and rebuilding them easier.
They're not getting rid of them.
Or getting rid of, or they're not having a like a physical fitness test, or they're not having a yearly. I know a lot are bringing it back because it's just a fucking liability, but people are like, fat cops are like, you're gonna punish me because of I can't pass the
Right.
course, so they put them on light duty. They can't fire. I don't think they can fire
You know
you.
how short we are. Like I was talking to, so the LA County stuff with LAPD stuff was coming out, and the suicides. And I was talking to somebody that works out there. They are currently on mandatory. When we talk about 16-hour shifts, they are currently on mandatory
crazy.
16-hour shifts. No, indefinite.
But they can
They're
hire
working
people.
8 and 8
For the
indefinite.
foreseeable
Tyler,
future.
do you remember I sent you a long time ago? It was a post from LAPD, and it was a recruiting post, and they said something like that you can skip over like 50% of what they. It's
you're-
in the post.
yeah, if
it's
you're
on
breathing,
an Instagram
they
post.
stay
It
fast.
breathing,
said
we
it's
got a
called
job
like
for
a
you.
fast track. Like
Yeah.
literally, they were like, we need people so bad. Literally, it said like express
LAPD's letting in non-U.S. citizens.
But it literally
Yeah.
said in the post that you
But
can skip
that-
part of the part of the application process.
That's
Okay,
where we're at.
so let me speak about the non-citizen stuff here. I think so. I believe they letting non-citizens apply but only if you have a green card for over like 3 years, or if you're about to get your citizenship. I don't think it's just like that, because some people misunderstood, and they're saying like, oh, now they can be cops with a work authorization, which is totally different. I believe that they have to be a green card holder for over 3 years and background check and all that, and they got to be eligible to apply for citizenship. You know what I mean?
Let
so
me
they
rage.
give a time frame.
Let me do my right wing rage. I ate that shit up and I'm mad.
No, because people need to understand that with the employment authorization, you cannot become a cop. And if you only have the if you just received that green card, you cannot become a cop in certain states. So you need to be eligible or be in a process to the citizenship. Do you guys know how hard it is to become a citizen here in this country nowadays?
Yeah, it's difficult.
How about the questions? Go out there and
I was gonna say I wouldn't know. I was born great.
That's from he's from Qatar. He's a pilot.
yeah.
And he's the nicest dude you ever meet. His dad, as a pilot for like.
Did he fly into the Trade Center?
No.
Yeah, my dad's American. My
He
mom's from
cannot
Brazil.
afford.
I haven't talked to him since
He cannot
September
afford
11,
to get his
2001.
citizenship. And they're rich, and he's just like, it's so expensive and
No,
so
if they're
hard.
rich, they should be able to afford the citizenship.
But it's not as easy as people think to just like walk in. It's pretty difficult and expensive.
Well, my
It is.
father's American. My mom's from Brazil, but I feel like there's a lot of solid people that from another country that are cops here. You know,
I
that
agree.
I met.
I agree. But the point was, is it easier to be a cop? It is Walmart easy at this point.
Oh, dude,
It is Walmart.
The agency I work for right now
right.
took away the oral board. You do not. You have to have an oral board to go
Really?
work at McDonald's.
No
You
oral
have
board.
to have an oral
So you don't
conversation.
you don't
no,
have
it's
a-
all application, and you start the immediate testing because there's a way. There's people that test great, but when they sit down, everybody goes, "This guy's a fucking
In
psychopath."
front of people that you're
Tyler,
gonna have
I
to
love
deal
my-
with
look.
on calls.
Yeah.
Hey,
God forbid.
My interview was so easy. I went to the to the order board for the board meeting or whatever. There was 2 civilians.
Did you say waterboard?
What? No. Yeah.
What is this agency?
I
Sounds
know.
great.
No, not there. But it was like 5 people in the interview. They brought 2 civilians to ask me questions, and 3 cops. Each one asked me a question. They asked me to step out of the room. They came back and got the job.
Hey, but there's 5 people. Half. I don't agree with civilians being in there, but
Yeah,
hey,
I know. I don't know why
Whatever.
they-
But 5 people got together and said, "You're not a psychopath. You can
Yeah,
get
you-
out."
How often
yeah.
do you look at like a new hire and in 3 seconds go, this person has no business being a cop?
No,
Right.
all the time.
I was together with maybe like 20 people in the room, and I'm like, I look at some people, I'm
Maybe
like,
one
bro.
or two. Like
I saw some solid people. I mean,
Yeah.
guys straight out from the military, like know how to carry themselves. Dressing up like they came in. They come in for the interview and they look very good. But some of the other half, I'm like,
yeah, but that can be deceiving too because you get that fucking military dude that's just off the rails.
I know,
Oh,
but
I want to kill somebody. I'm going to shoot somebody. Like it's the looks.
the looks, yeah, the looks.
He passes.
Yeah.
But then you got to worry. But it is to the point now where I think
Is a fucking
anybody
ass,
can
bro.
be a cop that wants to be a cop. And then corrections, fucking forget it.
Oh my God.
Forget about it.
Forget it.
Look,
if you're
when I-
breathing, you can be a corrections.
Yeah,
officer.
you can be
say something.
associated with crime and work for corrections.
arrested.
I've been
several.
I've been on calls where the hood's coming out, and there's people in corrections uniforms coming out there yelling at us like, "Oh man, it's gotten that bad."
Get dressed up just to
We had to
do that.
No,
Oh,
they
yeah,
probably went-
exactly.
They probably went and got their free fucking
Chipotle.
and we had a dude that did
Chipotle.
Chipotle. We had a dude.
That's the way you say it.
What is chipotle?
What's Chipotle?
That's how people say it and spell it. They spell it like that
Chipotle.
too. It'll be a red line under it and everything.
We had a dude that used on his weekend
Yeah,
off.
and
he
they
would
leave
get
it?
dressed in his uniform
To go get free food.
Drive to get his 50%. Drive home to take it off and
Hey,
do it.
I had a
Just to
student.
get
I love it.
I had a guy that used
He
to
tried
do
to
that
rent.
too.
He lived in low income housing too. He lived in HUD housing, and he tried to re-rent it. He had a
To make money
Is
because
he a cop?
HUD housing. Yeah, he had HUD housing.
Is it?
So it was like his mortgage was like $300 a month,
And he was
because
renting
his
it for
He
government-
should not be a
He
cop.
tried
then.
to.
He should,
He's not anymore.
Yeah.
He used to be. He wasn't. He's not anymore. He
we're poor.
He had like 19 kids. He had like 19 kids and all that, and then he had HUD, and then he tried to rent it out for like
The police officers do a
$1,000
lot
more.
of crazy shit.
Yeah.
You'd be
No,
surprised.
the police officers or the cops want to do the least amount of work for the most amount of money. Tell me I'm wrong.
No, how
wrong.
about that amount of stuff that they do, like dumb shit? You know what I mean?
They have to you have to tell them to get out of the car.
We are Counterculture Inc. How's everybody doing tonight? Wild, huh? Wild.